stop. Before you do anything else, just stop. Because while you were busy living your life, making your choices, and dealing with the daily grind, there was a war raging. This isn't a war fought over territory or borders. The battlefield is you, your life, your future, your very name. And what I'm here to tell you is this. This conflict isn't new. It's been going on longer than you can imagine. Two completely opposite worlds with completely opposite agendas fighting over the same prize. You and the winner? That's already been decided. It was decided before you were even born. Stay with me until the end. Before this is over, you're going to receive a protocol that will consciously position you on the side that's already won. It's more than just stress. It's that feeling of being pulled in two directions at once. One part of you feels with total clarity that there's a calling, a purpose, something massive waiting on the other side, while the other part can't stop wondering if it's even real or if you're just delusional. This message almost didn't reach you. What you felt right before you clicked, that urge to scroll past, to ignore it, to open another tab, that was a tactical move from the side that lost. But you're here anyway, and that matters. It's not just confusion. It's that feeling at 3 p.m. on a random Wednesday, right in the middle of a routine task, when a question suddenly rises from deep inside. Is this really what I'm supposed to be doing with my life? And the answer never comes. There's just silence, so you swallow it down and keep going. It's not just spiritual burnout. It's the specific sensation that something is trying to drain your tank before you reach your destination. It feels like every time you take a step forward, something yanks you 2 steps back. That's not bad luck. It's not a coincidence. It's calculated resistance, an opposition that knows your timing better than you do. It's not just weak faith. It's the sting of praying for something with everything you've got, only to see the exact opposite happen. And then a voice shows up at that exact moment to tell you that maybe you aren't as chosen as you thought. You seek. You dedicate yourself. You do everything right, and yet abundance never comes. And the worst part? You start wondering if you're doing something wrong, if you're being heard up above, if it's meant for you at all. It's not a lack of faith or worthiness. It's a spiritual blockage that ordinary prayer alone cannot break. The Miracle Journal unblocks this in 21 days with a spiritual protocol that works exactly where your prayer doesn't reach. Along with the journal, you'll also receive as a gift the prayer guide and the Psalms manual with the most powerful sacred practices and texts to deepen your transformation. To claim your version of the journal, tap the link in the comments right below this video. Exact moment to tell you that maybe you aren't as chosen as you thought. That maybe you confused a personal wish with a divine calling. And yet, in spite of all that, you're still here. You're searching. You haven't quit. That isn't an accident. That's guidance. Hitting the like button is your public amen. Heaven keeps a record of what you confess in the open. Do it now. Before we go any further, I need you to hear this from me. The war being fought over you isn't evidence of weakness. It's evidence of your value. Nobody mobilizes an army against an insignificant target. Nobody coordinates an organized strike against someone who isn't a threat. I wouldn't be doing this if you were disposable. In this video, 3 things are going to happen. First, you're going to understand the spiritual truth behind the conflict you feel inside and out. Because this war between 2 worlds isn't abstract or metaphorical. It has concrete strategies, specific tactics, and a result that doesn't depend on how you feel today. Second, you're going to receive a 3-step protocol you can execute today. Not when things are figured out, not when the pressure drops, but today, right in the middle of the fire, exactly as you are. Third, before you close this video, you'll have a declaration that will act as an anchor tomorrow morning when the losing side tries to make you forget what was revealed here. Don't break the connection before then. What comes next carries the weight of a decree. Close your eyes for a second. Take a deep breath. Turn your attention away from everything competing for it right now. What I'm about to tell you won't work if your focus is split. There are signs that only show up in the life of someone who is at the center of a real spiritual conflict. These aren't signs of a curse. They're signs that you represent something one side is desperate to stop you from becoming. They are target marks. See if you recognize any of them. The first sign is the sabotage that hits right before the breakthrough. You're about to take a major step, and something breaks, someone cancels, an emergency screams for your attention. It's not a one-time thing. It's every time. It has a precision that goes way beyond bad luck. You called it a run of bad luck. The correct name is adversarial timing intervention. Because the losing side knows they can't cancel the decree, so they try to delay it. And delay is the final weapon of someone who has already lost the war. The second sign is the dream that feels too real. You have dreams that stay with you in the morning. Not blurry images that vanish in minutes, but memories with emotional weight. Scenes of victory, of arriving, of a place you haven't been to yet, but feel like you know. You dismissed it as a fantasy, as wishful thinking. It's not. It's a transmission. Your spirit is picking up frequencies that your rational mind doesn't have the vocabulary to process yet. The third sign is exhaustion without a physical cause. You get plenty of sleep, but you wake up heavy. It's not a medical issue. The blood work comes back fine. The doctor has no explanation. It's the weight of a spiritual battle your body feels but can't name. This is real. It's not weakness. It's not in your head. It's the physical evidence recorded in your own nervous system that you are at the center of something of massive magnitude. The fourth sign is the intense attraction of drainers. You notice that certain people gravitate toward you with an intensity that doesn't match your relationship, and after every interaction, you feel a specific kind of empty. A lightness that's gone. A leak in your energy. You called it being too sensitive or too emotional. It's not. It's because something in you has exactly what the adversary needs to neutralize. You're a target for drainage because you carry something of value that needs to be contained before it reaches where it was destined to go. The fifth sign is the certainty that defies logic. In the middle of all the pressure, all the evidence to the contrary, everything pointing the other way, there's something in you that simply cannot give up the conviction that it's going to work out. There is no rational argument for it. You tried to rip that certainty out when the pain hit, and you couldn't. That didn't come from you. It came from the one who planted the calling and won't allow it to be canceled from the inside out. Type "free" in the comments if this word is reaching you. Close your eyes for a second. Take a deep breath. What I'm about to tell you doesn't work if your attention is divided. There's a man in the ancient texts who understood in his very flesh what it's like to be at the dead center of a conflict this big. His name was Daniel. And Daniel didn't end up in the lion's den because of weak faith. He didn't end up there because of disobedience. He ended up there because there were coordinated forces, people with an agenda, a carefully organized conspiracy to eliminate someone who represented something they couldn't tolerate. Even the king, who actually liked Daniel and didn't want this to happen, was manipulated by the system around him. Daniel did nothing wrong. He was just being who he was, and that was enough to mobilize organized opposition. The text says that the next morning, the king ran to the mouth of the den and cried out in an agitated voice, "Daniel, servant of the living God, has your God, whom you serve continually, been able to rescue you from the lions?" And the answer didn't come from an angel. It came from Daniel, inside the den, standing on his own 2 feet, whole, with the steady voice of someone who spent the night with lions and wasn't touched. "My God sent his angel and shut the mouths of the lions." He was in the den, but the den wasn't in him. If you need a different language for this, quantum physics reached the same conclusion through a different door. Science has demonstrated something spirituality has known for millennia. two opposite fields can coexist in the same space. In the classic interference experiment, when two waves meet, they don't destroy each other. They either add up or cancel out depending on their phase. What determines the result isn't which wave is stronger or has more energy. It's the phase each wave is in when they meet. You are at the interference point between two fields. What determines the result isn't the volume of the pressure the adversary applies. It's the phase you are in when they arrive. And what this video is doing right now is helping you shift into the right phase. Daniel in the Den and the physics of interference say the same thing. The war isn't decided by the environment. It's decided by what you're carrying when you walk into it. And you're carrying more than you realize. Tell me in the comments, do you identify more with Daniel in the Den or the physics of the interference point? Let me stop for 1 full minute before I continue. These are the objective facts of what's been shown so far. You are at the center of a conflict that didn't start with you and doesn't end with you. The pressure you feel has a spiritual name. It's not bad luck. It's not weakness. It's not a punishment. The signs in your life are evidence that you represent something real to both sides. Daniel's story and the physics of interference confirm the same law. The environment doesn't decide the outcome. The carrier does, and here is who you are in the middle of all this. I need you to hear this now, not with the mind that tries to calculate odds and weigh evidence, but with that place in you that still knows I am real. I saw every moment where you felt the drain and thought you were losing. I saw you sitting in silence at 3 p.m. wondering if you'd messed it all up. I know the weight of the conflict you carry in your body and can't explain to anyone around you. And I'm telling you, the war isn't being fought to see if you're worthy. It's being fought because the result has already been declared, and the enemy is still trying to change what can no longer be changed. You aren't at risk of losing. You are in the process of receiving. Your first identity is the high-value target. You aren't attacked for no reason. Nobody mobilizes organized resistance against someone irrelevant. The level of opposition you face isn't a measure of your failure. It's a measure proportional to the threat you represent to the side that lost. Every attack that didn't destroy you is data. Every pressure you survived is concrete evidence that there is a covering operating around you that the adversary cannot penetrate. This identity authorizes you to be the living proof that the most hunted target can be the one who arrives most intact, because they were the most protected. Your second identity is the bearer of the irrevocable decree. There is something written about you that cannot be canceled by circumstances, by wrong choices, by bad timing, or by a prayer that wasn't answered the way you expected. Not because you're perfect, but because the decree was sealed before you ever had the chance to be imperfect. This season of war you're living through isn't the absence of fulfillment. It's the period where the decree is being activated in the visible world. The resistance you feel isn't a sign you failed. It's the natural friction of something eternal becoming temporal. Something invisible becoming evidence in the world eyes can see. This identity authorizes you to carry what was written to the point of manifestation, not by your own strength, but with the awareness that what is written doesn't depend on your power to come true. Your third identity is the one who decides by positioning, not by force. You were made to understand that the war between two worlds isn't won by the strength of the more powerful side. It's won by the positioning of the one at the center of the conflict. Every time you consciously choose which side you're on, through a spoken declaration, through obedience when it costs you, through faith exercised in public, you aren't asking for victory. You are activating what has already been decreed. You are making visible what was already sealed. This identity authorizes you to be the convergence point where the invisible decree becomes visible evidence for those who still don't believe the right side can win. Write in the comments which of these identities you recognize in yourself right now. Just the name. And subscribe to the channel. The next word will find you already positioned in what was revealed here. The protocol is called field positioning. 3 steps. It can be done today, right now, in the middle of the mess, without waiting for anything to be resolved or the pressure to drop. Step 1. Declare the side. Today, within the next 2 hours, speak it out loud. Not in your head, not in internal silence, but with the voice that comes out of your mouth. Say, I know which side I'm on. I know who decreed my victory, and I do not shift my position for pressure, for pain, or for delay. Once, with intention. It doesn't have to be loud. It doesn't have to be emotional. It just has to be real. Step 2. Name the adversarial field. Pick one specific pressure you're living through right now. Just one. The heaviest one. Say its name out loud. Then say, you have a name. I know where you come from, and you have no access to what has been sealed over me. This isn't magic. It's not a ritual. It's the exercise of consciousness that changes the phase you're in when you hit that interference point, turning pressure from evidence against the decree into confirmation that the decree is real. Step 3. Seal with silence. Stay in silence for 2 full minutes after your declarations. No music, no screens, no complicated prayers, no checking your phone. Just conscious silence. This is the moment the decree settles in. Not in the hype of the declaration, but in the stillness that follows it. The sign of confirmation won't be power or euphoria. It won't be an immediate feeling of winning. It will be a settling, like something that's been floating for weeks finally found the floor. That specific quiet is your confirmation. The field has been positioned. In the next 72 hours, 3 things will be launched at you. Not as a possibility, but as a certainty. Knowing their names beforehand is the difference between being hit without understanding and recognizing the attack as it arrives, and knowing exactly how to respond. The first tactic is immediate counter-evidence. Something will happen in the next 24 to 48 hours that will look like a direct denial of everything revealed here. Bad news, a result opposite of what you expected. A door slamming shut right after you declared you were positioned. This tactic disguises itself as evidence. It will look like proof that you were just kidding yourself. Its weapon is using the visible world as an argument against the invisible decree. The response is this: counter-evidence does not cancel a decree. It tests positioning. The second tactic is the whisper of self-betrayal. An internal voice that sounds exactly like you, with your syntax and your rhythm, will start building the argument that you don't deserve what was declared here. It will pull up specific memories of mistakes, bad choices, moments you failed people you love, times your faith was small. This tactic disguises itself as honesty. It will look like healthy self-awareness. Its weapon is using your own memory against your decreed identity. The response: the decree wasn't issued based on your track record. It was issued based on the purpose of the one who sent it. The third tactic is strategic isolation. In the next 72 hours, you're going to feel uniquely alone. Like no one around you understands what's happening to you. Like sharing this would be unwise. Like it's better to keep it to yourself. This tactic disguises itself as prudence. It will look like discernment. Its weapon is silencing the decree before it can be declared in the open, because what stays in silence stays in the invisible field. The response: execute the protocol tonight. Declare it before you explain it. What is spoken out loud exits the invisible field. And the fourth thing, the one that will arrive with your own voice, your logic, your language, is the rationalization that this was just nice content, but doesn't change anything in practice. That tomorrow morning, life will be exactly the same. Call it by its real name: the fear of actually believing. Because believing implies responsibility, and the responsibility of the positioned is different and heavier than the responsibility of someone who is still in doubt. Type "positioned" in the comments. The decree is sealed. If you can, put both feet flat on the floor right now. Hands open, palms up, on your knees. take a deep breath. Drop your shoulders. Release the tension in your jaw. Let go of the need to have it all figured out before you leave. Now, let go of the weight of having to prove the right side won. Let go of the responsibility of making the decree happen with your own strength. Let go of the shame of still being in the middle of the fight when victory has already been declared. You don't need to leave here with everything solved. You need to leave here positioned. I saw that Wednesday afternoon when you were in the middle of a routine task and the question rose up, is this what I should be doing with my life? And the answer didn't come. I was in that silence. Not as an absence, but as a presence that chose not to answer in that moment because the answer you needed wasn't a word. It was this revelation, here, right now. I saw when you tried to rip out the certainty that defies logic, when you tried to convince yourself you were delusional, that it was just naivety, and you couldn't. I placed that certainty in a spot your will can't reach because I knew there would be days you'd try to give it back. I saw every night you carried the weight of calculated resistance in your body and thought you were losing ground without knowing why. I saw every step that was delayed, every door that closed early, every drain you felt and couldn't name. I was in every one of those moments. You are on the battlefield. But the battlefield isn't where you're going to lose. It's the field where the decree will be confirmed in front of those who still don't believe the right side can win. I didn't send you into a war without cover. I sent you into a war whose result I already know. And the result is you, whole, arriving, carrying what was deposited in you before the world was even formed. The war for you was decided before you were born, and it was decided in your favor. You are covered. You are positioned. You are leaving here different than you came in. Amen. Type, "It is done" in the comments. Not because the conflict is over, but because the positioning is complete, and what was decreed is sealed. Now think of one person, just one, who is feeling the drain and can't name it. Someone who wakes up heavy and doesn't know why. Someone who is in the middle of the fight and doesn't know the right side already won. Who doesn't know that what they feel isn't weakness, it's evidence of value. Send this video to them today, not tomorrow. Today. And if they want to go deeper, the link is in the first comment, waiting for them the same way it waited for you. The next video will reveal what happens when the decree starts to manifest in the visible world, the signs that the turnaround is coming, and how not to miss the timing when it arrives. It is done. You are not the same person you were when this message started. You seek. You dedicate yourself. You do everything right, and yet abundance never comes. And the worst part, you start wondering if you're doing something wrong, if you're being heard up above, if it's meant for you at all. It's not a lack of faith or worthiness. It's a spiritual blockage that ordinary prayer alone cannot break. The Miracle Journal unblocks this in 21 days with a spiritual protocol that works exactly where your prayer doesn't reach. Along with the journal, you'll also receive as a gift the prayer guide and the Psalms manual with the most powerful sacred practices and texts to deepen your transformation. To claim your version of the journal, tap the link in the comments right below this video.